You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts.
All right, Black and White Sports supporters, let's talk about Pat McAfee. Of course, a punter, played in the NFL for the Indianapolis Colts. Shows up as a wrestler and commentator on WWE. And of course, he's had his own podcast and YouTube show for years and years now. And he's built it into a juggernaut. I've seen some people already. They're mad. They're big mad because if this deal goes through and ends up being factual, which if it's coming from Andrew Marchand and The Athletic, there's a damn good chance it's going to end up happening. This is his lane, and he generally knows what he's talking about. Pat McAfee's about to not only break the bank, but freaking destroy the bank. And he will end up getting paid 3 times what Stephen A. Smith is getting paid. Now, there are some estimates out there I have seen that when you factor in X and YouTube and ESPN viewership, that Pat McAfee draws in something in the neighborhood of 300 million viewers a month in engagements, in impressions. And that is gargantuan. I mean, guys, we like to feel like we do pretty good because we draw in around 5 million in a great month, a gargantuan month. We'll bring in maybe 7 or 8 or 9 million views across all of our platforms. I mean, there's no comparison. That's that could be one day for McAfee. To put that in perspective, that seems bananas. For us, anyway. And in my perspective. Congratulations to Pat McAfee on being named to Time 100's list on sports. The 2026 list recognizes the 100 most influential figures shaping the global sports landscape. Never mind, we talk about the fact that, boy, he's really good on College Game Day. What Pat McAfee and Nick Saban have brought to College Game Day, it's by far, in my opinion, far as what I would consider a studio show, and I don't consider Pat's show a studio show because it's more of a podcast environment. But I believe it's the best still original product ESPN's got. ESPN, Pat McAfee negotiating a new deal that could pay him over $60 million per year. ESPN and representatives for Pat McAfee are discussing an extension to his contract that would pay him more than $60 million per year, sources briefed on the talks told The Athletic. By the way, people are already bringing up race, and this being racism, and this being white supremacy, because Stephen A. Smith's going to make less money. What? Okay. The deal is not yet completed. If an agreement can be reached, it could be a sliding scale based on McAfee's new responsibilities. McAfee, already an omnipresent, could be on the air even more with a bigger role in NFL coverage, a possibility according to sources. Well, look, he had his own draft show this year. Like Adam Schefter and Peter Schrager, I think, were on the show. The draft show. He got 2 of ESPN, the 2 biggest insiders they got, on his draft show. The 2 sides are currently between 60 to 65 million per year, according to the sources, who were granted anonymity to discuss the ongoing negotiations. McAfee, 39, has 2 years remaining on his current contract, which approaches the $30 million mark per year between his production agreement on his daily show and his College Game Day panelist role and his various appearances on other programs, according to sources. So he's already, it looks to me like, making the most money. The makeup of the new deal would be similar in structure. ESPN has viewed the arrangement as a production contract and separate talent agreement, differentiating from its deals with the most of its on-air personalities. Oh, we haven't even talked about his listens on his podcast, which I can tell you right now, just is a more valuable commodity. All right. Like if you get paid, let's say $10 per 1,000 views on YouTube, you'll get paid 25 per 1,000 listens on a podcast. That's a considerable difference. And I'm sure he's still in the top 5 most listened to sports podcast. McAfee hosts his daily 3-hour show with his crew, the Pat McAfee Show. His first 2 hours are on ESPN while all 3 are on YouTube. He is also a main personality on ESPN's iconic football show, College Game Day. Him and Nick Saban have emerged as stars of the program that is led by Reese Davis, Kurt Herbstreit, and Desmond Howard. For his daily show, McAfee still has 2 years remaining on his deal that pays him over $17 million per year. It is a licensing agreement, and McAfee has maintained ownership of the program. Yeah, he still owns his program. And of course, now we got to think about the fact that there's a big relationship between the WWE and ESPN. By the way, the WWE brand has gotten much worse since they decided to enter into that. ESPN declined to comment. Wow, the initial proposal to ESPN was over $100 million a year. What? They've negotiated it down to like $60 million. Holy shit. ESPN declined to comment. News of McAfee's potential extension negotiations were first reported by Front Office Sports. McAfee has joined Stephen A. Smith as the face of ESPN. Smith signed a 5-year, $100 million plus contract. Smith has a separate 3-year, $36 million deal with SiriusXM. So he would break the bank. He'd be above Stephen A. Smith, and then it goes down here. Tom Brady at 10 years, $375 million. So he'd be way above Tom, too. Wow. And that's pretty wild. When you go back and if you see some of Pat's very earliest podcast, I mean, you're like, whoa, that's how far a show can grow over, I don't know. Has it been a decade? Maybe. $60 million a year. Jesus. I'll take $6 million a year all in right now. No problems. Tell me what you think, guys. Pat McAfee about to make a bunch of people mad, it looks like. They're already getting angry. Peace. I'm out. Till next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.